It's the Potter. Today is April 3rd, 2023. It's a Monday. Back in my old bus. This is the Bluebird 72 passenger. There'll be chocolate kids in a few after I go out and get this thing here. But I'm just here to give you another tidbit. What happened to me this morning, I had my TBA on board and another TBA that's supposed to go to another bus. He was just a ride along. Anyway, the two of them were having a discussion about Catholic, the things they do, memorizing different prayers and all this other stuff like this. And had a little discussion about if demons are real and what they do about it, and went back to Mary and all that. Well, while that discussion was going on, I had to break into it. You know what I mean? So I told them, you want to know if demons are real? They're real. And I told them about the little story I had, me getting a trailer at Edelman's Trailer Park when my husband was in the Army. And they really sort of moved us out of housing, all the incoming, because new incomers were coming in, Fort Polk, Louisiana, and we were in the barracks, and they were moving us out, and they said, you guys are going to have to get housing, the new people are coming in, so get out. So that's how that worked. So anyway, as I was moving out of there, my husband had to go with his division, the 25th Infantry Division, Tropic Lightning. So they had to go to Guam and to do, they were doing exercises over in Guam. And they'll be there for 2 months. How's that? So I'm left with almost a 1-year-old, my little boy, and had to go find housing. And I only had $100 with me and $75 for food.
Hello.
Yoo-hoo! Fine. Ugh.
Have a nice day.
You too. Another bus driver. So what happened, I went around from trailer park to trailer park. I bumped into this guy. He was a cab driver, and he was nice enough to let me off at different trailer parks because I did not have the money to go from park to park. And that was sweet of him to do that, and I thank God for him. And so I went to the last park, and it was called Edelman's Trailer Park, Vernon Parish, Louisiana. So I rode up in there, and I met the lady. She had a golf cart, and she said, okay, let me show you around on the golf cart. And I mean, the trailers were expensive. One was for $500, one was for $200, and that was really, really ranchy. It's like slumlord, $200 a month, and $1,000 a month, $800 a month, $700 a month. I did not have nothing. Only thing I had in my pocket was a $100 bill. Now, she took me to the trailer that was in the way back of the park. This is what I was telling them. And when I rolled up there on the golf cart, I couldn't believe that you had to go through the woods, like a little wooded area, and it opened up to this field. And in this field was a double wide trailer, just sitting by its lonesome. Everything is hooked up to it. I couldn't believe that. So she went up the stairs with the keys. She's looking back at me. And she opened the door and went in. So I went up the stairs with her. I was impressed. It had brand new carpet, shag carpet. It was like a golden brown, shaggy brand new. It had the walls had wood paneling walls. It had a kitchen, a kitchen, a kitchen with you can dine in kitchen. I mean, you can't really find that. And it had the dining room table, had 4 chairs, it had a living room, it had a couch, it had a love seat in it already. Went towards the back rooms, the 2 rooms in the back, because it's a big double wide. Big bathroom, like, you know, one of those garden tub bathrooms, beautiful. It had a large bedroom in the back for a queen size bed to fit in, and another bedroom where it was a double bed can fit into that one, and it had a double bed in it, and the queen size did have a bed in it. Closets, and also it had a washing machine. I looked at the lady, and she kind of looked at me and kind of smirked like, and I said, she goes, "What are you thinking?" And I said, "I can never afford this. I can never afford it." And she says, "Tell you what, you give me $100 now, and it'll be $100 a month to stay here. $100 down, and I'll retrofit you for the whole month, and $100 a month." What did I have in my pocket? $100. That's all I had in my pocket. So I said, okay, I'll do it. I can't find a better deal than that. So we went back, signed the paperwork and all that stuff. I said, well, how soon can I move in? She says, right away, honey, right away. So I went back, and the guy was sitting out there waiting for me, thank God. And I put all my stuff, and I went in there with him, and went back and got my stuff. I only had a lamp and a rug and a couple of items in my suitcase, and that was it. And I grabbed my son. We went over there and sat down, and I could not believe it. I thank God. I said, Lord, look at this. This is beautiful. $100 a month for this thing. 3 days passed. Here comes some military wives coming up through the woods. There are about 7 of them walking in a little line because it's a really skinny path. In their hand, they had like crumpets and all kinds of goodies, and, you know, covered dishes with stuff in it. And so they came to my door, and they knocked on it, and they told me, hey, you're the new person here. Welcome to the park. We're the military wives. I couldn't believe that. They came in, they sat down, everybody's watching and looking around. And all of a sudden, we had tea, crumpets, and welcome to the neighborhood, what's your name? And everybody introduced themselves. And soon it was getting kind of late, and they said, oh, we got to hurry up and get out of here. And I said, well, it's not, the sun is not down yet. What's up with this? So they went down the stairs. Now get this, they were all down the stairs, and they were looking at me. And a big lady said, I give her a week. And the other lady said, I give her 3 days. And the other lady says, oh, she'll be out of here, and if anything, in about 2 weeks, she'll be gone. I'm sitting up there like they don't even know I'm still standing there, right? So I said, excuse me, I'm still here. I hear everything. I'm not, I am not blind. And then she says, I said, what do you mean I'll be out of here? And she goes, honey, everybody they had back here in this trailer, they all ran away. I said, why? She says, because it's haunted. Now, you got to get the magnitude of this. I just gave my last 100. I only have $75 left for food. My husband doesn't get paid till the end of the month. You know how military wives do. Okay, I can make things stretch. And you're telling me this house is haunted, this trailer is haunted? And she goes, yeah. I said, well, it has new carpet. She goes, yeah, they couldn't get the blood off the carpet. I said, what happened? And she says, a sergeant went mad back there and slaughtered his wife and family. What? Slaughtered his wife, and maybe, I think, 1 kid survived, something like that. They didn't know what made him mad. So I said, well, it has wood paneling on the wall. She goes, because they can't get the bloodstains out. They got new carpet on the floor because they couldn't get, they had to rip that carpet up and put some new carpet in. 3 days went by. It was beautiful. It was quiet back there. The birds were singing, the crickets, the frogs. On that third day, at the foot of my bed is a closet. It has a toggle switch like this. You have to manually push down on this side to click it up and for it to swing out. This thing went clunk, clunk. That's exactly how it sounded. It sounded like somebody needed double WD-40 for it. It did it 3 times. On the second time I bounced up, I did, and I went and took a marble and I found a pencil. I put it on the floor. Maybe it's the pitch, sometimes the trailer. I opened up the closet, which was very dark, and I turned the light on, opened it up. I'm brave. That's the way I am. I looked in it to make sure it wasn't a hole in the closet, to make sure a window wasn't in it where, the air comes in and do a suction thing, or maybe the boards at the bottom of it has a suction. Nothing. It did it the 3rd time. And I turned on the light, went back and slammed the door and jumped back in the bed. That's me. Now, a couple of nights passed. The window at the foot of my bed, I had a window at the head of my bed, the head. I tried to get the window open to let some air in. It wouldn't even come open. So I did it again, tried to press it open. I said, I want to break the pane glass. I left it alone because I didn't want to break the glass. And then all of a sudden, get this, here comes the night. I was sleeping with my little boy, and all of a sudden the window at the head of my bed, shunk, it went up. It went up as if it had WD-40 on it, slid right up. So I turned on the light, looked at the window, and it was wide open. So I tried to press the window back down, and it wouldn't even go down. I had to take my husband's, one of his military boots, the big heavy things, and tapped it on one side, tapped it on the other side, tapped it all the way back down. Then I tried to pull it back up again, and it would not go up. It stayed down. I went back to sleep, because that's me. And then again, the second time, shunk, it went up again. So I got up and I pushed that window back down. I pushed it back down. And I went back to sleep. 3rd time. It went shunk, it went up again. And this time I got out of the bed, got out of the front door of the trailer, ran around to the side of the house where my window was. I thought it was the military wives that had some kind of string that they were pulling, trying to make me scared. I looked at the sugar sand outside, no footprints in the sugar sand. There was a full moon, no crickets, no frogs, no cicada bugs, just steel. That's usually be going like, oh, everybody's getting back on the plane. I probably got to pull out of here in a little bit. Hopefully my TBA is still in there. But anyway, so it wasn't that. But before I went in the house, I remembered this guy named Philip Papadakis. I don't know where he is. He's a little short Greek guy. He looks like, to me, John Denver with round glasses and that haircut. He told me, he says, Dee, I'm going to tell you something about spiritual warfare. He kept telling me that. I said, Philip, if you don't mess with them demons, they'll leave you alone because you don't mess with them. No, Dee, I got to tell you. This was way before I went over there. Okay? He told me how to bind these spirits, catch them. You got to bind them up, but you got to do it in Jesus' name. And you got to place them someplace. You place them into the abyss. In Jesus' name. And then you got to loose the spirit of protection, an angel of protection around the property and all your stuff in Jesus' precious name. Jesus Christ's precious name. Got to bind them up. You got to cast them out into the abyss in Jesus Christ's name. And loose a spirit of protection in Jesus Christ's name. When I went into that middle of my trailer park, that's what I said. Lord, bind these evil, nasty spirits up in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. And cast them out into the abyss from whence they have come, in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. And thank you for putting a hedge of protection around the property, so these things will not come back, in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Because I have no place to go. My husband was still away. I have absolutely no place to go. The next day, it was okay. And the Lord came to me and he says, do not. A little voice says, do not tell anybody of this. I stood in that trailer park for 2 years paying $100 for a double wide that should have been at least maybe $900 a month. My husband couldn't believe it. He said, you're paying I said, you got to be quiet. Oh, yeah, I had the military wives. They came back. And they were just impressed. I didn't tell them nothing. And they just could not get the picture. Have Christ in your life, folks. And if you don't have Christ in your life, I don't know what else to tell you. There were some people that was in the parking lot. They got me too, and they was just going about their business, telling me that, that how do you know if the demons are real? They're real. And I'll tell you more tidbits as we go along. Take the Lord with you everywhere you go, okay? Because this stuff that we're going around here, if you don't have Christ in your life, you're just doomed to it. I had no place to go. No place to go. Nowhere I can run. I'm way in Louisiana. No kinfolks in Louisiana, nobody. I still remember that if it's just like it was today. Okay? Nowhere to go. So I thank you for listening to my testimony. Always have Christ in your life. He's the big guns. And he's the only one that can bind these spirits up and cast them out. And put a hedge of protection around you. This stuff is real. The demons were real. And they were coming in for me. But I thank God that I had remembered what was said to me. And it was so important that this Philip guy tell me. And I'm so happy he did. Sometimes when the Lord has a message for you, listen. At first I didn't want to listen. Then he finally got me. He says, dude, you got to listen to me. I said, oh, all right. You know how you get angry because you're trying to hurry up and get something done? You don't want to listen to nobody. Just, but I said, you know what? Maybe he has something to say. Let me listen to him. And he told me about that. And I'm so happy I did. Because there was nowhere for my baby and I to go. Take the Lord with you everywhere you go. And I'll leave links in the description as for the Bible verses that goes along with this testimony.